Banzai charge is the term that was used by the Allied forces of World War II to refer to Japanese heavy attacks and swarming stage 5 infantry units. This tactic was used when the Japanese commander's infantry battalions first saw that the battle was about to be lost. As a last-ditch effort in thwarting Allied forces, it brings the question why Imperial Japanese Army adopted this tactic against enemy. The origin of this tactic is back to the 7th century. In Wu Long Kui, the classic Chinese phrase, it indicated that a true man would rather be shattered jaw, ashamed to be necktie. This ideal later inspired samurai, and they formed their own similar ideal, which is known as Kyokusai, also known as shattered jaw and honorable suicide, which is also meaning suicide for being captured by the enemy, such as seppuku. Later, the age of samurai had come to an end by the Meiji Restoration in 1868. However, the ideal is perfectly reserved by the military, especially the army. But initially, it wasn't adopted as official tactic. During the Japanese War, the Battle of Port Arthur was the first battle the Imperial Japanese Army launched full-scale assault towards Russians, and the result was devastating. The plan was huge failure, and casualty was enormous. Therefore, it didn't have much attention in the first place. It was in the 1930s that the Imperial Japanese Army adopted this tactic. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, the Imperial Japanese Army found this tactic as effective after witnessing their victory against Chinese. However, it was a mistake. The reason why this tactic was that Chinese forces only equipped with bolt-action rifle, and due to the lack of training and discipline, desertion during the battle was common. Therefore, they were unable to organize a defense line. With this mistake, Banzai charge was kept used throughout World War II. When the US and Allied forces saw this tactic for the first time, they were horrified and shocked as well. However, it was not enough to break through the line. The well-organized defense line, machine guns, and flamethrower, and other various US weapons made it impossible for Japanese to break through the line. For example, during Guadalcanal campaign of World War II, 800 Japanese soldiers launched Banzai charge and 771 were killed, 15 were captured, but US had only 15 casualties.